What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's May 4th. May the 4th be with you. It's National Star Wars Day for all you Star Wars nerds out there. I'm a Star Wars fan. I grew up watching the movies. So BTX here looks like it's forming a nice little squeeze on the 10-minute. I could see this popping back up to at least $62, $63. It definitely likes to surge and push. I hope you guys are having a great day today. Hopefully you're starting out the new week and the new month off on the right foot. A little bit slow this morning. We had a lot of stocks pop up and then a lot of failed follow through. But still, there was opportunity out here. You just had to be patient and wait for your moves and your setups. One of those, we talked about it in the pre-market prep, MVIS. MVIS, we laid out a game plan, said what was potentially could happen. This was setting up really, really nice. It was trending down for a couple weeks. And shorts got to cover at some point. And that's what leads to these huge rips like this. When you pay attention to these stocks, like MVIS, running from $10 to $26, there's people that made money on the way up. Now there's going to be people that make money on the way down, shorts. So when a stock stops going lower, shorts are not making any money. And it's like a domino effect. Once one short starts to cover, they all start covering. And that's what leads to these huge rips like this. Once you understand how shorts think and how longs think, it really makes a lot more sense when you read and break down these charts. So all morning on MVIS, I was accumulating on this, all near this $13. I knew exactly what it was doing, and I alerted it to everybody in the chat. MVIS, I feel like there's accumulation going on here, and it's getting ready for its rip. Sure enough, right around noon, starts to perk up, 13.50. Nice explosion all the way up to almost $16. I mean, you can't ignore a $3, $2.50 rip like that. Then it gets its pullback. Nice follow through continuation. So even at the end of the day here, this could go on another push right up to $17, $18. You have to think MVIS, it pulled back from April 28th. Non-stop, it pulled back till May 4th. So a total of, what, the 28th? That's 1, 2, 3. Today would have been the 4th day it pulled back from its highs way up here. I love looking for short squeezes and when shorts have to cover their positions. I love it because the payouts are great on them. Hopefully you guys made out on that PRPO too. That one was a nice swing overnight. I just want to go back in the chat here. We talked about a lot today in chat. Let's see. We also covered a good topic right here today as well. I'll go over that one in a second. I always like to try to reflect and go back on everything we talked about in chat. Because if you guys watched my videos and you know me and you're in the chat every day, you get to know who I am, Mr. Wolf. You know that psychology, mass psychology, and emotions, I'm a huge fan in preaching about that kind of stuff and educating people on psychology and emotions. And we covered a little bit on that today. So yes, this morning, right here at 10:09, I said MVIS, yes, looks good. I even said TYHT could squeeze later on, and TYHT did have a nice little squeeze. TYHT here. Nice morning rip from 1250 all the way up to 1850. Pulls back down to 15 and then rips right back up to its highs. All right, so BLRX, that one was a nasty one. And then also for you members that are in here right now, yourself included, go back in the chat log here and look at what everybody talked about. You will actually be surprised what you learn, and you will actually start to understand more what everybody likes to look at, how they look at stocks, because everybody has different beliefs in the stock market. Everybody. I said MVIS tape super heavy. I think shorts are piling in, overwhelming it. That was this morning when it was just getting slammed down to $13. Top stocks I'm going to have watch this morning: BLRX, MVIS, BTX, RHE, TKAT, Playboy, PRPO. So then we fast forward to later on in this day. Skills even had a nice little breakout and setup today. Let's see. All right, so we'll cover this lesson real quick here. So what I said today was I wanted to bring this up only because I was just talking about it. I just had a conversation with somebody about emotions and routine. This person said to me, "Man, I can never get a read on you. Like you are always neutral and unemotional." And this was my response. My response was, not only is it who I am, but I have trained myself to be this way. I cannot by no means get overly excited or pissed off because it alters the way I normally think and may overlook something. Things happen so fast in the markets. You always have to be in a neutral state of mind with your thoughts and emotions, as you may do something foolish with a click of a button. I have rewired myself through multiple books and countless hours of examining myself and the way I think and operate as a man. A great book to start you off that has changed my life is The Power of Habit. The Power of Habit. Why we do what we do in life and in business. If you guys have not checked this book out, it's an amazing book, The Power of Habit. You do not and will not see other people out here teach the way I do, because this is some very deep stuff, and it really takes dedication to practice this stuff every day in life. It's easier giving out alerts. This is why they all do this. Nobody out here in this game is teaching about psychology, emotions, and how you have to condition yourself to be a trader. All they're trying to teach you are chart patterns, chart setups. It's because it's easier to do that. Why do you guys think chart patterns and chart candlestick patterns, they never change? They've been the same for years. It's because human nature never changes. And once you start to understand that mass psychology and human nature never changes, you will start seeing the possibilities in the stock market. And that's the honest truth. And we had Danzig here. He says, I agree. I got sick yesterday, could not sleep right, also bought some tech stocks for swing, couldn't sleep, up at 8:30 a.m., watching more vids from Trading Psychology with Mr. Wolf, like someone threw a 10,000 piece puzzle on the floor and you have to figure out piece by piece. Classic. Slept in to heal up. Entire NQ down. Sold half positions for small loss. Still sick, and then with coffee, walked outside, got some sun, and started the day over. Not going to lose my blank over this hiccup. Still a new day. That's showing up every day and asking yourself, am I emotionally stable, and are my thoughts here? Can I focus on what's going on in the markets? If there's anything going on in your life that's on your mind, you're stressed about something, you got in a fight with your significant other, you're running late, you're rushing, you need to realize what you're doing and take a step back. And that's real talk right there. If any of you guys have not listened to Dan Penna, I highly recommend this guy. I don't really care about the people who say this guy's a fraud or he's fake or whatever. The way this man talks and motivates you will really kick you in your butt and get you going. And you want to try to surround yourself with successful people, people you look up to that inspire you. If you're around people that are just posting negative stuff all day on Twitter, people who poke at you, always talk down on you, you need to cut them guys out of your life because they're doing you no good. So surround yourself with like-minded people and people that you look up to. We had my 2 cents having a nice little green day today. So right here today at 11:30 a.m., I said watch MVIS is going to have a random huge surge later on. It seems like it's been slowly reversing and accumulating for a few hours. I said that at 11:30. Let's go back and look at this now. MVIS 11:30 right here is when I said that. Right here. Right when it was at 13.25. And then sure enough, dips down, shakes out weak hands, and then they lift it from 13 all the way up. It's like you can have an idea, and I said it right here too. I traded 2 times today. I traded BTX for 4.3K profit, and I'm currently holding MVIS. I am trying to hold it. I've been accumulating all morning, but I just don't know if it's ready or not. I am up right now 1K. MVIS falls to 13 or lower, I will cut it. What I think MVIS will do, though, it will drop to 13, shake out weak hands, and then run it. Right at 11:39. And if we look, 11:39 at 13:50, They bring it all the way down to 13.10, shake out the weak hands there, and then run it all the way up. You could just tell what they're going to do by staying familiar with these stocks. Every single day you're watching it, getting used to the stock's personality. How does it like to move? If you keep tabs on a stock, and I know Paper Cuts in chat, he can attest to this because he's been watching MVIS for weeks now. When you track a stock every single day, you get used to how it likes to move. You get used to its personality. And even Paper Cuts was with me when this thing started exploding up to the upside. So beautiful trade and execution here on MVIS. Beautiful. But we got hour and 20 minutes before the market closes. Rodney, Dan Penna, he's the man. He'll get you motivated. With Dan Penna, I like the way he just doesn't hold anything back when he talks. He just says it like it is. Then TKAT here. I said earlier I could see this getting swiped up to 30 bucks. There it goes. Look at the opportunity, guys. TKAT. Just by tracking this bad boy every single day, it loves spiking at least $2 to $3 every single day. Every day. Pull back to VWAP here at 27. Now look at it, it's ripping up to $30. That's a $3 move. That's beautiful. And then someone also said, can anyone tell me if you have a margin account, can you just use your own cash without paying interest? You can use a cash account. Just be cautious of what you're using with that cash account every day. For me personally, I like using a margin account because I can keep going. I don't have to worry about funds settling every single day. And I don't have to pay interest because I never over leverage what I can't afford to lose. So if I only have $50,000 I can trade with, I make sure I stay under that $50,000. That's a lot of people get scared with margin thinking, yeah, you get 3 to 1 or 4 to 1 leverage. There are people who take advantage of that. Not me. It's just too risky. I just take advantage of I can keep going and going and going and going. That's where you get restricted with a cash account. So like, and I'm just going to show you guys for an example. So like BTX here, this stock is $50 a share. I bought 2,500 shares of it. If I had a cash account, this would have ate up, what is it, 250 times, or 2,500. 2,500 times 50. That's $125,000. I trade with a 200K account. So $125,000 I put up to buy 2,500 shares of BTX. I would now have to wait 2 days for those funds to settle. So instead of waiting for those funds to settle, I have a margin account and I'm able to keep going. And then when opportunities pop up, like MVIS, I can load up and keep going. Buy 15,000 shares and make $12,000. You get what I'm saying? So That's what I use margin for. I don't use margin to over leverage myself. I just simply use it to keep going. Cash, you shouldn't be restricted. That's the way I look at it. You know, the stock market offers endless opportunities out here. You shouldn't restrict yourself with a cash account. But you can use a cash account. I'm not going to bash it. Cash accounts are good. Some people like it for the simple fact you can, not overtrade, you know? How often how often are you utilizing 100% of your purchasing power? The only time I'm utilizing 100% of my buying power is for stocks like BTX. You know, at $50 a share, I don't trade options. So when I have opportunities like this with BTX, I have 200K in my account. I don't have to worry about over leveraging. So, and I can keep going. It's just all personal preference. You have only 10,000 hard to trade. Well, you can combat around that. So, if you're on, well, what do you want, a cash account or a margin account? That's the first question. If you only have 10,000 and you're on a cash account, only give yourself $2,000 a day to trade with. And you have to be very selective about what you trade. But that's another thing too, you know? And I feel for you guys under PDT rule. It sucks. It really does. You're at such a disadvantage. And this is why a lot of people go off to offshore brokers, because they don't want to be restricted to the PDT rule. You know, how would you feel? You only allowed 3-day trades per week and you're on your last day trade and you get in on something and you cut it for a loss, and then later on in the day you only watch it rise up and you would have been in profit. That's going to mess with your head and your mind. It really is. But the PDT rule, it is a good reinforcement, because you don't really want to be out here brand new and you're going to overtrade. You're just simply going to overtrade. PDT rule, I think it helps in a way to make you focus more on quality setups versus being a wild gunman in the Wild West and you're just going balls to the wall trading nonstop. You're just going to self-destruct. That's the honest truth. So until you can prove to yourself, and there's ways around it too, getting over PDT. You know, if you open up multiple brokerages, put 5,000 in here, 5,000 in there, 5,000 in here. You get 3-day trades per brokerage. That's 9-day trades per week. And then just be very selective about what you trade. I was under PDT for a long time, guys, but until you can prove to yourself that you can consistently pull in profit and money, there's no reason to bother with being over PDT. It's hard growing your account to PDT, it really is, because you're constantly going to be battling your P&L. And a lot of people as well, they level up too fast. And what I mean by that is they start off with a 5K account. They're only making like a couple $100. And then when they get on a roll, they want more. And they want to start going after those $1,000 profit, $1,500 profit, and they bite off more than they can chew. They run into that bad trade, and it wipes away all their profit that they've worked for and their confidence. Like BTX. You imagine being caught on the wrong side of this? Like right here. Stock forms a wedge. Newer trader is only trading chart patterns. They see a wedge forming here. Like, oh yeah, it's about to break out. Not realizing, like, yo, dude, this is a 50-50. You have a 50% chance of it ripping up, but you also have a 50% chance of it ripping down. That's not a good risk versus reward trade. So they buy 1,000, 2,000 shares, and they get blinded by how much the stock like this can rip. They don't think about the downside risk. So from here at 64, the stock slams all the way down to 58. That's a $6 death candle right there. Holding on to 1,000, 2,000 shares, that's a $12,000 loss. That would just kill you. And then to watch the stock run all the way back up like that from 58 to 80, that would destroy you. That would destroy you emotionally. It would. This is why at Trading Learning 101 and in the chat with you guys every day, you guys are going to see me enforce and try to condition you guys with psychology and emotions because it dictates your whole career. And that's the honest truth. I'm here to build traders. I'm not here to give out alerts and have a big cult following. You know what I'm saying? I want to build great traders here. That's what I want. I've been a part of so many different chat rooms, and they're all the same. Buy here, sell here. Yeah, it'll work. You know, you'll make money, but then what happens when I go on vacation? You're going to freak out and you're going to blow your account up. Or what if I have a bad trade and then you bit off more than you could chew? I'd much rather see other people find their own success and find what works for them. It's a hard road and journey, but you can get there. You just have to ask yourself, how badly do you want it? Me, I wanted it more than anything in the world. Anything. I said, screw working the rest of my life. I'm going to learn this game. And I studied my butt off. Hardcore. You guys can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Exactly, Pugman Plays. Just to be clear, on your margin account, as long as you don't go over the cash you put in, you are not forced to use margin. Yeah, you're right. You just use what's available in your account. I can keep going all day trading. All day. I could buy $1 million worth of a stock as long as I never exceed how much money I have in the account. So if I have 50K in my trading account and I'm trading a stock like BTX, I'm just buying 100 shares back and forth all day. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I can exceed 50K in buying power, 100K, 150K. They'll never stop you as long as you have the funds in your account. They're just, you got to look at margin as they're giving you money to keep you going. I never use the 4-to-1 leverage. So if I have 200K in my account, I have 800K in buying power. I'm never going to take a position where I have 800K. Never. Not even 400K. I won't even put my whole account into one trade. And if you follow Wall Street Bets, that's what all those guys do there. They all have daddy's money and they're able to blow up their accounts. Like you see this dude right here, Darth Trader. Oh gosh, I averaged down. This dude, he's down $1,200. He just blew 32% of his account. You think he cares? No, because daddy's gonna refund his portfolio probably at the end of the month. That's all Wall Street Bets is just degenerate gamblers. And that's why it gets me so pissed off when I see new people come into this and they follow Wall Street Bets thinking they're gonna win big. All this place is filled with just degenerate gamblers and trolls. That's all this place is filled with. It's always been like that. The only reason they got popular was because of GameStop. That's it. I mean, just look at some of the rooms that they have here. Best of Wall Street Bets. Oh, that's just stupid. See, they have a casino. Wage Chuck? I don't know what that is. Just stay far away from Wall Street Bets. There's nothing good out of that. DTX getting its pullback. It needed to hold up above this 13 EMA. Look at that. If you would have gotten in on that at 57.50, it crashed all the way down to 54, $3. Been trading ETH. Super light volume, but hey, it's working for you. And that's all that matters, right? That's the whole big idea. I love teaching people here. Don't try to emulate what I do. Find what works for you and what you feel comfortable with, because there's no more greater satisfaction than you yourself pulling money out of the stock market. Sure, I can give alerts and you can make money on my alerts, but you won't have that satisfaction as you would as if you do it on your own. Does that make sense? And then when you do go on vacation, you're able to pop out that laptop, scan the markets, and see if there's any opportunities out there that you yourself have learned and you have emotionally conditioned yourself to take advantage of. MVIS, it's looking pretty good. It's got a gap to fill right here, all the way up to $17.50, $18. It could do it, most definitely. As much as this stock has been getting beat down. Let's see here. It's a nice $1 potential gain on it. Yeah, I could see it 1640s run up to 17, and then it'll run up to 1750, and then 18 will be like a bonus. It drops down below 16, it's over with. We got an hour before the market closes. Let's see if it death candles all the way down to 1550, and then from there start to build up for that break over 1650. I don't like stocks that slowly grind like this back up to its high, because it's just the risk is so much greater. And then also take note too, the SPY's starting to fall. The overall trend is still holding up on it like that, but you want to keep an eye on the SPY. Because if this starts tanking, 3 out of 4 stocks follow the overall market, the SPY is going to take everything down with it. Besides TKAT. I mean, this thing's just a beast on its own. And look at how beautifully that's set up. Ran up to over 30, pulled back that 30 mental level. 30 pushing up to 32. That's a $2 rip right there in seconds or minutes. Where are you going to go to make $2 a share? $2 on your money. That's the opportunity the stock market gives you. I don't know if I'm going to chase anything. I'm just going to sit here and hang out with you guys till this market closes. Answer any of your guys' questions. TKAT, that's a good run. And look at that nice little squeeze there with the 13 EMA, with the 55 EMA. Squeezed right up over it. Boom. Came right up to that, what's that EMA that I use here? 233 EMA. And then pushed right up over it. TKAT, this can run all the way up to 34. TYHT, I don't know about that one. Even Playboy, PLBY, we've had this on watch for weeks, ever since Easter. Every single day, this has been on our watch list. Simply because it likes to move. This thing is a powerhouse. I mean, look at that. From $49 to $59, that's a $9, $10 rip. Just non-stop. This thing just keeps hopping like a bunny. Actually, let's pull this over. You guys might get a better view of everything that's going on. We got the SPY down here, bottom right. SKLZ, it's trying. This was a good play today as well. And RHE. RHE runs with BTX. So if BTX starts ripping up over that VWAP, up over 60, running up to 65, RHE is pretty much going to follow. What brokers do I recommend for new traders? I get that question all the time. It all depends on you, because every broker has pros and cons. You know, you got your brokers that focus more on options trading. Then you have brokers that focus more on short trading. You got brokers that focus more on speed and execution. Brokers that, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But hands down, I'd say the best retail broker for newer traders is TD Ameritrade, #1. And you also get a free platform with TD Ameritrade and E-Trade. TD Ameritrade and E-Trade is what I would say. Yep, that's right, Caesar. The orange line is VWAP. I have them on all of my charts. MVIS starting to lift up. There goes TKAT. Nice micro pullback to 31, ripping up to 32.50. The range on TKAT, you don't need much shares to make good coin on that type of stock. I mean, every single day, TKAT has been offering opportunities. Look at that. That's the way you have to look at these charts. Spiking there, couple spikes here, big rip there, quick morning rip there, spike there, spike today. I mean, look at all those different possibilities and opportunities from just one stock, ripping $3, $4, $5. And if you were a short, every single snap and rip up on it, you could have shorted it and rode it right back down to where it spiked from. So there's opportunities in both directions. Good to hear, Caesar. You'll hear some people complain about TD Ameritrade. I've been trading with them off and on my whole career. Sure, they have some problems, especially when the market opens, it can get a bit laggy. But for the most part, TD Ameritrade has never screwed me. Never. And I trade pretty large size with them. I'm not buying a couple hundred shares. I'm buying a few thousand share lots every trade. TYHT starting to perk up. We're officially in power hour, so anything's possible right now. Kind of want to keep an eye on my scans too, see if anything momentum wise pops up. Great move on TKAT. Oh yeah, and BLRX, if you were part of the chat here, we told everybody that BLRX had, what was it, 120 million shares hidden at the market. Right here. Today at 8:35. I'm in here doing research, preparing for the day. I said, BLRX, be careful. They have hidden at the market 120 million shares worth. But there was so much volume on BLRX. Big denies at $6. It failed at $6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times it failed at 6. And volume on the day, it's at 233 million in volume on the day. That's crazy. Look at the death candle on that. 591 all the way down to 505. That's a $1 death candle. Right there. There's one there. One there. There. It's pretty nasty. TKAT. I don't think it's over with yet. Still has to run up to that 34. That's going to be the top for it. Amazing number of shares trade, Mr. Wolf. Well, I've worked myself up to it. It wasn't easy, and I'm still trying to work myself up to more. I want to be a big money trader. I want to be. So it's a constant battle with myself, learning to hold on to my size, experimenting. It's a never-ending process, but you have to work your way up. What are your thoughts on Fidelity's Active Trader Pro? Active Trader Pro by Fidelity, it's not bad, but what I think it lacks is speed for a day trader. I think it's more geared towards swing trading, long-term investing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Fidelity and their Active Trader Pro, but for day traders who look to, day trading, it's all about speed. How quickly can you pull up the chart, analyze it, break it down, execute a trade, move on to something else. There's many different stocks going on. Like right now, there's the PLBY, Playboy, TKAT, MVIS. You have all these different stocks that are in play and setting up. I feel like that Fidelity Active Trader Pro, it lacks in speed of you to switch over to these charts and trade with these types of stocks. That's my personal opinion, though. I've only used it for like a week. I immediately said, this ain't gonna work. I tried them, though. This MVIS, it's not gonna end well. If it keeps grinding like that, it's eventually gonna get a death candle. And it's gonna have one candle, it's gonna slam all the way down to like 15. Back to TKAT real quick. Man, this thing has just been pushing and pushing and pushing. 1.2 million in volume. So volume's super light on this. It just goes to show you guys as well. This is where the smart money is. The smart money is playing. Look at how effortlessly this stock ran and pushed up with only 1.2 million in volume. And it's still pushing. Compared to something like BLRX, this is a super overcrowded stock. Look at how hard this chart looks to trade. Extremely overcrowded. 234 million in volume. You have so many people, different beliefs, different trading strategies, all in on one stock. It's just going to lead to randomness. That's why a lot of these, it's just back and forth, 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 back and forth. Because there's so many different trading strategies and it's just overcrowded, which makes it super hard. Stay away from overcrowded stocks. All it is a headache. Your focus should be on stocks that stay in play for days at a time. Stocks like BTX. BTX. Every single day it's getting less and less volume because something new pops up. You have to look at volume in the stock market as if, like, you all know Apple products, right? Well, Apple has its own stores now. So when Apple comes out with new phones, or even if Microsoft, they come out with the new console, the Xbox, you see people line up for days to buy those new products. I mean, even the Xbox, you can't even buy it right now because there's such a demand for it. People always like shiny new things. That's why they're always broke. It really makes sense when you just sit back and you think about that kind of stuff and how it revolves around the stock market. It really makes sense. It really does. This is why a lot of people fail. Wilson, I agree with your thoughts on Fidelity. It's not something you use for scalping. But I also have Thinkorswim, Webull, Robinhood, E-Trade, but Fidelity is my favorite because they give you H. How often do you stream like this? Whenever I feel like it. I'm not really obligated to stream every single day. The only people I stream to every day are the members in the Discord, the Ultimate Pass members. Every single day we do a pre-market prep for 30 minutes before the market opens. I tell them all my watch list, what I'm watching, my thoughts, what I think will be in play, what I think will be duds. And then every Friday, we always do live stream trading. And then we have the Monday through Friday chat in here where we meet up every day and discuss the markets. Nice little community I created here. I'm pretty proud of it. I did at one point have it open for everybody, but it just got to be way too much. Way too much. There's too many people out there that just think they're entitled to everything, you know? Like, I'm just supposed to give you everything I know under the sun and cater to every single one of your questions. Nah, don't work like that, brah. You also see a lot of people come and go in this game. A lot. What I like to do for fun is get on Twitter, and I go through the feed here, and all of the Tim Sykes students that I see tweeting and mentioning Tim Sykes, I say, bet. Let me remember that name and see if you're still around here in a couple months. Sure enough, they disappear and fade out. They go, wow, Tim Sykes, I'm a dedicated student. Never stop learning, on that grind. I'm here every day. And then a month later, you see him not active on the account for a couple weeks. And then 6 months, the account's deleted. And it's like, dude, what happened? If I had one book I'd recommend, there's a lot of them, man. That's a hard one. It's kind of a complex question too, because the stock market and trading's complex. I mean, you got trading strategies, you got emotions, discipline, psychology, habit. Out of all the books, my ultimate favorite one would have to be Super Trader by Van K. Tharp. That's my favorite all-time book. Well, if you're a part of the Discord community here, I have a book chat right here, books chat. And then I go through here, and I went through and I put in every single book that I found valuable. Not only that, I have other book channels. I have book recommendations right here. All of these recommended books with PDF. There's 29 of them in here. And on top of that, I have all of these audiobooks in here for absolutely free. There's 20 of them in here. And all of this stuff I've added myself over the course of 3 years. Along with all of these educational rooms. Want to learn about trading lingo? What's WL mean? Watch list. ETB, easy to borrow. Tape reading, level 2. All kinds of tips, tricks, strategies on reading level 2 in the tape. Trading psychology. All kinds of great information in here, and pages from books that I personally took pictures from and pinned them in this server here on trading psychology. All of this stuff. Look, I'm going back all the way. I've been posting in here from 2019. And it still goes and still goes and still goes and still goes. I've been doing this for a long time, guys. A long time. Fibonacci. If you're a Fibonacci nerd, there's a whole channel in here dedicated to Fibonacci. I'm a huge Fibonacci geek. All kinds of Fibonacci stuff in here. All kinds. ETFs. Chart patterns. Candlestick patterns. All the good stuff. That's the thing. If you guys sign up to be a part of this community, I give you guys all the tools that you need to succeed. You just have to put the work into it. And that's where a lot of people fail. They don't want to put the work into it because they see how much work you have to put into this. Even as I'm successful and I do this full time, I trade full time. This is how I make my money to live. I still have to work hard every day to stay on top of my game. Because people are getting better, computers are getting faster and smarter, people are evolving, markets are evolving. You have to adjust. It's a never-ending process. Never-ending. And you could do it. I tell you guys all the time, you could do it. I did it. It took me 2.5, 3 years to get it, but I never gave up. You're going to go through those hardships. Those hardships of, man, screw this. I want to quit. But I kept telling myself, would I rather work at this job for the rest of my life? Or would I rather sacrifice a couple years of my hard work and studying to be my own boss? And I said, bet. I'd rather be my own boss and do whatever I want. That's the truth, guys. It's well worth all the studying and the headaches, and you're going to run into losses and get discouraged. It's about how you pick yourself up, learn from your mistakes, and carry on. Oh, so you're asking for me to discuss each book that I've read and like do a review on it? What did I take away from it? What are my thoughts? Well, that would defeat the purpose of reading the book, wouldn't it? No problem for reading your comments. Dang, look at LEDS. That's a rip from 4 up to almost 7. Wow. No news either. This is low float stocks, guys. When you have a low supply of something, that float's only 2.3 million, and you have that lightning bolt of volume hit it like that, more than likely there was probably a trading group out there that alerted this while the guru loaded up all down here, and now he's selling into all of his sheep as it rips up. See it happen all the time. After you, Kevin Hall, after you look up that Super Trader and read it, come back to me and tell me what you thought. You're gonna be like, wow, dude. Wow. Now I see why this book's your favorite. It's gonna open your eyes to a lot of things. TYHT. It sure is trying. It failed to push over 17 there. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly looks good. Monthly. Huh. We got 30 minutes for the market to close. TYHT, this is looking very similar to what BTX, how it got started. Love. You don't volume for them to rip. Man, there are so many stocks in play. See if the market rallies too the last half hour. This is what I'm doing, guys. Every single day, all the stocks that are in play that pop up, I'm adding it to my list. So LEDS, add it. TYHT, add it. BLRX, add it. MVIS, add it if it's not already there. SKLZ, add it. TKAT, add it. So I'm adding all these stocks every day that pop up. And then days after, I keep rotating through all of these stocks to see how they play out days following. And that's where you could see potential setups. And you get used to seeing how these stocks play out after they're hot from day one. All right, so we got TYHT. Let's keep an eye on it. Something could happen with it. I might even take a trade on it. We'll see. It needs to start ripping up and ripping up over 17, 20s for momentum to come into it. 4.4 million volume on the day. 3 million float. Got a beta of 1.2. Average true range, $1.12. So all of these statistics here that I have right here on trade ideas, they're not up there for the heck of it. I actually pay attention to everything that's right here. This is how I start to formulate a plan. I can see there's low supply. There's volume in on it. They've rotated that float now over one time. So I'd be keeping an eye on the tape. Do I see that demand there for the stock still? Every spike up, I want to see people attacking it, attacking the ask. So I want to see green prints. When I see green prints, they're attacking the ask. If I'm seeing red prints, they're attacking the bid. That's what it's all about as a day trader, and you have to train your eyes to what's going on. Looking around, monitoring your thoughts. What's going on? Monitoring your thoughts. Okay, what's happening at this level? Look at volume. Look at the multiple time frames. There's multiple little things you got to take notice of, because if you overlook one thing, it could cost you. Like, oh, dang, I didn't see we're right at the 200-day moving average at 1750. Stuff like that, you know? Nice little perk up on that. That's a 50-cent rip. It could start lifting up to 18. You need volume to push into it. $17.50. There's a wall up there. I'd want to see a pullback down to the 17, get a little micro pullback and build up for that burst up over 17.50. I think it's going to snap up to 18.50. It's definitely got the characteristics. I want to see volume push in on this tape. It's not looking good. So yeah, you can easily get freaked out too if you're not comfortable trading a stock like this, how it's ripping up and down like that. Somebody who doesn't know what they're doing and they're always trading big can handle. I mean, from 17.50 and it rips down $1 like that. You're holding a bag. You're gonna get freaked out and scared. Needs to start volume needs to come into it. I don't see volume pushing into it. It's over with. If it drops down below 16.50, it ain't. Everybody's gonna sell it that got in on it. It tried up there at 17.50 3 times. And it failed every time. People are eventually gonna give up on it. Nothing else seems to be going on. BTX is fading off. TYHT holding up at that level. It needs to hold that level. Skills, nothing going on. MVIS, nothing going on. LEDS is pulling back. LEDS starts to fail and fade off. Everybody might turn their attention to TYHT. I'm actually going to throw LADS up on my other chart. OCGN, nothing's going to happen with that, I think. DLRX, that could squeeze back up to 6, but that's a long shot. LADS could go parabolic here. I want to see the outcome of this, see what happens. LADS is trying. Rip right up to $7. Nothing going out THT. LADS, I'd look for it to pull back, micro pullback right here, and then get that big surge up to 7. You do have that brisk though. From here, it could slam down easily below 6. That would be like 60, 70 cent on the downside. UYHT still holding up there. I don't think it'll go though. There goes LADS. Same thing with Mossy. Same setup. MOSY and LADS are running together. Those charts look very similar, don't they? There's MOSY. There's LADS. That's a good point. ARM. Be careful if you're in on LADS. It's never a bad idea to lock in profits. As I like to say, don't be a greedy pig. $15 before that market closes. take a step back sometimes and tell yourself this stock just ran from 4 to 7. You see how the higher it goes to now, more volume and volume pushes into it. People love stocks that keep pushing up higher. Have to think a lot of people have their scans set up for high of day breakouts. So when this starts breaking that high right here from here, it's going off on everybody's scanners. Up near its resistance. LADS. Wow, look at that too. 68% of stocks are red today. That little 32%, and we still got stocks like LEDS, BLRX, STIM, TYHT, MOSY, all these different opportunities out there. Ugh. Whoa, that's a big dip on the NASDAQ. This stock is something. I wouldn't be surprised if it came all the way back up and ripped up to 20. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I've seen so much crazy stuff happen. Take a snapshot of this MVIS chart, learn from it, because history will repeat itself. It almost filled that gap. Almost. It came up short. Maybe tomorrow it'll run up and fill that gap. You know, we'll be keeping an eye on it the upcoming days. Market closes here in 10 minutes. MVIS may get a good bounce. Man, that was a solid move. What's that one? BLRX? If you're holding on to this bad boy and you're thinking about swing trading it, I'd cut your losses while you can. This thing is garbage. Imagine the person who bought in at $6.26. This is why we don't chase high of day breakouts, because they fail over and over and over. Gill's not getting a nice snap. Right off that previous day's close. That's why I used that line. MVIS, it's trying. All right, that wraps it up on my end. Market closes here in about 7 minutes. I'm going to wrap it up and call it a day. Good job to everybody today in chat. Keep showing up. Showing up every day, learning, growing, working on yourself. Think of this as a marathon. It's not a race. This is a skill that you learn for a lifetime. Dedicate yourself to this and ask yourself, how badly do you want this? If you want it bad enough, you'll get it. Alright guys, thanks for joining me on this stream. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button.